Well, interestingly enough, we finished an episode, and then we went back. And the only reason I know this is because I was able to portray this moment. We added a vaccination scene where we showed my character and some other Dr. Varani get the vaccine shot, and so the writers are very much keeping up with all the new things coming out about the pandemic and the vaccine, and so we have this unique opportunity to implement it when we can, where we can, and so I don't know if they're talking about doing anything with the surge, but yeah, we'll incorporate as much as we can when we can, and I guess it's been nice to have the holiday break to have the break from the air to be able to do that.
Yeah,
Also,
the
there. Oh,
writers
go
have
ahead.
really
Good.
been- I'm sorry.
No,
The-
no, please, you bet.
just to piggyback off of what Nick is saying, from the very beginning of this season, the writers have been very cognizant of this pandemic and how to keep it, at the top, but not lose the drama of the show. They've really, really dealt with that. And the fact that they would go back and add a scene, it shows you how important it is for them to stay current. And I really appreciate that because, a lot of people get information from television, a lot of people from watching these shows. And so there's a responsibility there that we have to present it in a way that is truthful and yet still have the moments where, Goodwin is going off on Will or, reprimanding Choi, for whatever. But it's important that we, especially with something as important as this, that we stay truthful.
Yeah, I agree with both my friends have been saying. It's one of those responsibilities that we definitely took on, and the writers obviously took on. And what's interesting is because we shoot not on time and so far ahead, and then it gets produced and then it airs later on, there's certain things within the writing that we don't want to get ahead of too much, or we don't want to pull back. Speaking of this surge, like no one really knows what's going to really happen as far as vaccines are concerned or protocols are concerned down the line. So, they have to do their due diligence and implement things into our script, but knowing that this might not be the truth later is kind of a really interesting thing to take on. It's fascinating to kind of see where we are and where we land. I literally had a scene with Steven Weber, right? And I introduce him, and he's coming into our ED, and everything's great. And we literally there's a handshake in there, and it's written with a handshake. And then the producers and I are like, when does this air? Should we be handshaking? And then luckily our wonderful executive director, Michael Pressman, was like, doesn't matter. I think we're going to be, elbow bumping or fist bumping or foot bumping for a long time, even after the vaccines have kind of been implemented. So let's not risk like a handshake or anything like that. Let's continue to kind of elbow bump and be that responsibility, be that kind of that example for others to continue on. And I was like, perfect.
And because we shoot ahead, we're 3 or 4 episodes ahead, it allows us to have that opportunity to add in case something comes up. I think that's the beauty of having, so many shows ahead, that you can indeed like insert something like Nick was saying, to keep that line of truth alive.